Psalms 55 and 17. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah, Kwadash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to the sincere elect out there. Back at you with another lesson. So, just go and get into some of this. The prayer for destruction of the treacherous. So, yeah, man. Getting into more of these prayers, I've been doing that. Lord willing, I keep up, with the prayers, the spiritual routines, right? Which is really that keeps you locked in, keeps you tuned in, for want of a better word, tuned in to the Spirit. Yeah, prayer for destruction of the treacherous. And is our prayers being answered? Yeah, 100%. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He have delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. Yeah, aka the angels. The angels are with us. Just come to me. This morning I had one of those. We did call it sleep paralysis, and this was a little bit different. It was a little bit different. It seemed real, which they're all real, but in the back of my head, I knew I was going through. In my sleep, I knew I was having an attack, which is really just being attacked by a demon. Sleep paralysis. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let's see something. What is sleep paralysis? Yeah, a temporary, harmless phenomenon where you are conscious but entirely unable to move or speak. It happens when you are awake, when you wake up or fall asleep and your brain is active but your body is still locked in the muscle paralysis. Right, anyway, that's the point right there. So that's what I had this morning. Hence why I'm doing this video. But I do remember saying, yeah, I'm going to say the name, and it's gonna try and hinder me. But I know I'm going to keep fighting. And something that an elder said, and I remember he said, these things happen to make you stronger, right? Sleep paralysis happen in the spirit to make you spiritually stronger. And I was wrestling in the spirit. I was doing that Jacob thing, wrestling with an angel, because that's really what it is. You're wrestling with a left-hand side angel, and I was wrestling, but I knew that I was going to overcome. I just knew, I'm going to say it any minute now. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to persist with this, and I'm going to overpower, right, the sleep paralysis, which is once again just being attacked by a left-hand side angel. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray. And I had this in my mind, as a matter of fact, this scripture. I had this in my mind because, evening and morning will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Beautiful. So this is a perfect prayer, an affirmation that to pray if you're being attacked by those demons, right? You have it in your own words, but you say, you groan it out. As a matter of fact, when I just type this in, it says here, because I just wanted to get a quick little breakdown. Psalm 55 and 70 says, David expressed supreme confidence that God will hear his prayer. Likewise, he is sure that those who ignore the Lord will be humbled and defeated. Yep. So turning the other cheek really is spiritual. What you learn in the church is that if someone slaps you, one side of the cheek, turn the other cheek. Now, really, that's spiritual, right? We turn the other cheek when we see what's going on, a lot of things that be taking place, and we just wait patiently upon the Lord, because he gonna rise up to the prey. So this is the confidence that we have. David had that, right? Yeah, many a prayers he gave up, which really was curses. Prayer for the destruction of the treacherous. This is really a curse upon the wicked. And this is really what I want to focus on today. And it's been coming up a lot. with brothers and our elders and our apostles saying, pray, pray. That's the reason why a lot of men of the Lord, or assuming that they're men of the Lord, fall out of the truth. You know, they don't pray. And he really gets into it. He's been saying that passionately. Our elder Apostle Gabar, all of the elders actually, but you get that a lot from Elder Apostle Gabar about that praying. And he gave his testimony on regarding his ex-wife that was really giving him a lot of trouble, and he prayed, you know, in so many words. He prayed, and eventually, it was the prayer was answered, man. So we consider that, in way of testimony, in way of in our own personal trials, temptations, challenges. All right, King David had that. He was dealing with his enemies, external and also internal, with certain members of his family. We know that, right? With Absalom, things that was taking place in his own household. He had to deal with that, and that's how he dealt with it, man. Evening and morning, what's the breakdown again? Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Yeah, that's the first thing I did. Right? And I had no choice, because it was a sleep paralysis, and I had no choice but to get the name of the Lord. And eventually it came through and got me out of it. I want to get into this as well. Isaiah 65 and 24. Right? I just tapped that in. It was also mentioned in a particular video. So before they call, I will answer. Because when you get sleep paralysis, it's almost instantaneous, natural reaction. It's a reflex. It's really a reflex. Is to get the name, and it should be a natural reflex. Say the name of the Lord. You know what I mean? And the reflex of the demon is natural reflex of the demon is to let go, because that name is terrible, right? That name is terrible, right? And it's the Lord is the King of terrors, as I went into yesterday, and he's on his way. He's returning, right? Divine promise of ultimate restoration, intimacy, and God's perfect proactive timing. I'm probably butchering that word, but his timing is assured. Believers that God already knows their needs and is ready to answer even before they articulate them in prayer. There's times when you find words, you can't find words, to articulate, and you're struggling, but the Most High done know already what you're trying to say. Now that leads me nicely into this precept here. I had this in my mind, and even more so because I had that sleep paralysis. I had to deal with that this morning, fresh off the press. So Romans 8 and 23 says, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves. That's literally what was going on, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. Yeah, that's literally what we're doing now, right? When we're on the highways and the byways doing videos, that's what we're doing. We're groaning, we're crying to the Lord. Yeah, that's what's actually taking place. We're crying to the Lord, pleading, asking to give attention to our plight that we're in. So, yeah, our victory is a Mashiach's. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities. Yeah, the Spirit, man. Because we're just little worms, right now. And we can't do this on our Jack Jones on our own. Likewise, the Spirit itself helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray. Yeah. Sometimes you may be having a writer's block, or just not, most of the most sized people, the loose people that don't have that eloquency. But what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with the groanings, once again, groanings which cannot be uttered. So groanings, I want to get into the word there, that word there. Yeah. You ain't got no words. You can groan, but we're groaning anyway. Whether we're saying it outwardly or inwardly, it's a groan which is really, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Groaning. G4726. Groaning. Got an idea. Yeah, groaning sign. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I believe that's Ezekiel 4:9. Or it might be 9:4. But yeah, the Most High said, put a mark, yeah, a mark upon those that are groaning and sighing about the times. Groaning, sighing, yeah, sighing and groaning about the times you're living in, right? The waf, the mark, right? So that's what we're doing, and the Most High he's taking notes. As a matter of fact, he be there's another word here. The scripture go on top. He be doing this word here. So let's get into that. G5, 24 and 1. Right? So we're not spiritually, sometimes we want for words to decide for one. In the seed. I'm not butchering this word. In the seed for one. So I had to just fact check that a little bit on there with the Google. Right? In the seed or intercession. Intercession meaning an act of intervening, meditating, or pleading on behalf of another person or group. I believe that's what lawyers do. Lawyers or solicitors do when dealing in the court, in the injustice system. If you know that's a fraud anyway, but that's what's supposed to be going on. All right? Pleading on behalf of another. Solicitor or witnesses sometimes will come forward and give you help with your case, involve stepping into a situation such as dispute, crisis, or a legal matter. Oh, there you go. That's it. Influence a person in authority to show mercy, grant favor, or forgive. So that's what's taking place right now. Right? Intercession in the etymology. Pleading on behalf of one or another. Right, there you have it in the Latin. But that's it. Pleading on behalf of one or another. Right? Coming to your aid. Coming to your defense. Right? On one's behalf. Interpose on one's behalf. So, right, let's get back to it, man. That's it. You know? So you may be having sleep paralysis attacks, attacked by demons. You're down the road. Oh, infirmities. Certain people are rubbing you up the wrong way, and that. Brothers have got their testimonies anyway. But so infirmities. 769. Yeah. Infirmities. Right, we ain't going. This is not that video, but weaknesses, infirmities, right? And you're getting attacked by a demon. That's weak. You're weak. You know what I mean? You have no defense. You have a defense. That's the name of the Lord. Want of strength. And yeah, that's what happened. They be trying to drain your energy, them demons. But when you call upon the name of the Lord, now you recovered. You're doing a video. Really, that's you. Oh, the water Yahweh Shai. You're slapping up them demons, man. And all credit and glory goes to the Most High for this strength that He gave me, and the strength that I was able to, with the name of the Lord, that I was able to be freed of the bonds, because it feels like you're in bonds, or you're in kind of, you just feel like, yeah, you definitely feel like you're tied up, But there you have it, okay. That's the point. And not only that, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves, grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. 26. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, right? Those thorns in the flesh. For we know not what we should pray. Sometimes you're lost for words. You may be lost for words, or you think you're lost for words, but really you ain't. You just fight, because there's too many things we got, too many forms in the flesh we really got. So we really ain't lost for words. We just got to find the right words, and you just having maybe a writer's block, or you may be having a sleep paralysis attack. But the words is coming. He hear your words anyway. What we should pray for, as we ought. But the Spirit itself, and if you feel like that, maketh intercession for us within us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Certain things you can't put into words. But if certain things you can't put into words, you have a helper. It's Yahushua. So he's sitting down right now at the right hand side of Yahweh, right, making intercession for us, putting the words in for us that you're struggling what to say, how to say, right? Get up early in the morning, however you got your prayers set out, your spiritual routine set out, right? The Most High be helping, assist with that, but you do need to have that set out, or just go into it. Sometimes you may just go in on a random thing, and that, however random routine, but just make sure you be putting them up. You know what I mean? And you got the helper there, right? Our victory is with a Mashiach. He that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is in the mind. Thank you. And the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of our power. Right? All the precepts that I'm bringing out now, meditating upon them for a good portion of this morning. Yeah, after, especially when I had that attack, that spiritual attack, I was meditating on precepts like this. And he searcheth the hearts, knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of our power. Now I must bring this one out as well. We go in with this one. Isaiah 65. Once again, these are the scriptures that I was meditating on. And 24. Isaiah 65 and 24 says, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. Right? In the kingdom. And more so, even on this side, when it's necessary, he maketh intercession for us. Right? If we don't have the words, he maketh intercession for us. And we looked at the word. Intercession was to enact or intervene, plead on our behalf. So yeah, we got the comforter who pleads on our behalf. Make use of it. Until the next one.